Most players make their biggest mistake way before they've even placed their first foundation. The terrain can be our biggest friend, but it can also be our worst enemy. We've all done it. We unlock the foundations and we whack down a big square to build on, and that's the moment everything starts to fall apart. If you want to build something truly beautiful, the real work starts long before the first foundation even touches the ground. I genuinely believe everyone has the ability to design something beautiful, but as we grow up, creativity becomes something that we used to do, not something we practice. And like any skill, if you practice and practice, it comes back naturally. My goal in this series is to give you the mindset and the tools to unlock it again. So today we start where every great build truly begins, the land. So sit back, grab a drink. This is Satisfactory Design School. Before you place a single foundation, stop. Take a moment and look around. The terrain is trying to tell you what the factory wants to be. Every valley, every rock formation, every slope is a design clue. In the train terminal, it was a natural ramp curving down towards the water that told me, this is the entrance. There was a tiny natural gap between the two rock pillars, and that single little detail dictated exactly where the rails would go for this whole build. In the Phoenix, the rocks on the coastline dictated the whole shape of the build. And in the Orion, the tight terrain forced me to create those layered platforms, and it looked 10 times better because of it. Instead of fighting with the landscape, you've got to learn to work with it. Don't build from memory. Use references. Even the best artists or designers in the world will have mood boards and references. I'm always on Pinterest myself, saving different cool buildings, bridges, tunnels, all that kind of stuff. And once you've got your references, you can take your favourite elements from each and kind of merge them into one. It's not copying, you're just kind of collecting inspiration and remixing it. So when you're picking the building site, don't just think, where's the closest resource? Think, what sightlines do I get here? Where would the windows naturally face? What do I want the player to see first? How do people enter? How do trucks or trains enter? Buildings look a million times better when they feel like they actually belong somewhere, not when they're just slapped on top of the terrain. So once you found your spot, start marking out the shapes. You don't have to be perfect, just rough outlines. You're looking for shapes that feel natural to the terrain, and once the terrain gives you those shapes, the curves, the hard angles, the steps, now it's about connecting them in a way that feels intentional. Sometimes that's with a sweeping curve, sometimes it's a bold diagonal, sometimes it's an elevation change. Most of the time, a mix of all three. One of the biggest design secrets I can give you, and which I use for all my builds, is to break your machines into groups. Instead of placing everything in one flat grid, create zones, and then shift groups forward or backwards. Lift some up, drop some down. This instantly creates depth, elevation, and interesting shapes. It's how the Frank feels like an actual architectural structure instead of an Amazon warehouse. It's how the train terminal ended up looking like a flip-flop. Before you build anything, you need to figure out one thing. How does this factory actually function? Where did the raw materials come from? And where did the finished products leave? I often try to build next to or on top of the resources, and I often include my miners into the actual build, just for the pure simple fact it just adds a different shape to the build. If it's a train build, think about where the stations are going, as they're absolutely massive. If trucks are involved, you need a natural approach path. If the view is important, think about it now, before a belt spaghetti nightmare blocks it forever. Big open flat land sounds great, until you start building and realise you have no idea what shape anything should be. Creativity needs edges, it needs friction. A cliff forces a decision, a dip in the terrain suggests an entrance, and a river shapes a wall. When we're faced with a big open flat land, it can be overwhelming. It's like having a big canvas and someone telling you to go paint the Mona Lisa. You wouldn't have a clue where to start, but if you let the terrain be that natural barrier and give you those natural outlines for your factories, it'll instantly elevate your factories to the next level. So there we have it, guys, the real foundations of every great factory. Not concrete, but understanding the land. Choosing a location with intent, blocking out the big shapes, grouping machines for depth, and planning how your factory actually breathes. If you have even half of these principles in mind when you come to build your next factory, I guarantee it'll be 100 times more beautiful. Next time, we're placing our first machines. We're going to learn how to move materials around your factory cleanly, and how to turn this rough concept into a beautiful structure with elevation changes, rhythm, and personality. And in the meantime, if you want to see me put all these principles into practice, the full building series is linked below. And honestly, I'd love to hear your feedback as we build this design school together. If there's something you want more of, or a topic you want me to cover, let me know in the comments or in the Discord. As always, thank you so much for your support. We've just hit 5,000 subscribers and I cannot believe it. Thank you to our Patreon members, and if you want to help support the channel, you can find the Patreon link down below. With all that out of the way, I really can't wait to see you in the next episode. Ginge out.